Straight ahead in the Reb Zone, it's the 9th island versus the rest of the islands as UNLV football prepares for a showdown with Hawaii. We're previewing the game, plus head coach Tony Sanchez is in studio to break it all down. Plus a feature on the senior stud on the defensive side of the ball, Jayven White. What inspires this Oakland native that makes his competitive juices flow? And we recap week 1 of the Runnin Rebels season, the highlights and post-game reaction from both games. 30 minutes of fireworks in the Reb Zone right now.
This is the Fox 5 RebZone Sports Show, sponsored by R.C. Willey and Levitt Law Firm.
Welcome inside the Reb Zone. Kevin Bollier alongside UNLV head football coach Tony Sanchez. After the Rebels had a bye week this week, Coach, what was the focus for this off week for you and the team?
Well, really getting the guys healthy. I mean, that's a big thing. A lot of guys banged up and out, so trying to get some of those guys, healthier. Obviously a lot of player development too. Some of those younger guys that are still kind of haven't played a lot. You get a lot of reps during this week, and then recruiting. We got hit the road and went out and did some recruiting. Did
you guys have the coaches spread out all across? Because I know we're getting into playoff time for high schools and JCs as well.
Yeah, absolutely. We got out, and I got out and watched some practices on Thursday. Some of our coaches were out Thursday and Friday, so we're on the sidelines with a lot of football games on Friday night. But yeah, we spread all over the place.
When you talk about getting healthy here, there was the normal bangs and bruises that happen during a football season, so that helps with guys who weren't necessarily injured. But is there a hope that you're going to get some of these injured guys back in the fold this week?
We're hoping. Noah Beaton took that shot last week, so he's still going through concussion protocol. So we hope we get him back. Dominion Ezenwa, he's a really good D tackle for us. He was out last game with an ankle. We're hoping we get him back. Justice Oliver was shown starting left tackle. Doesn't look like he'll be available this week, but we'll see how he progresses. And there's a handful of other guys.
Well, they're going to need everybody on hand for this Saturday night because the Hawaii Warriors will come to Sanborn Stadium for Saturday afternoon tilt.
The Island Showdown will feature the battle for the Golden Pineapple and two teams that always put on an entertaining close ball game. Hawaii comes in having an up-and-down year that saw them beat 2 Pac-12 teams to start the season in Arizona and Oregon State. But they haven't been able to topple many Mountain West teams, which has left them clawing for bowl contention. One thing the Warriors do is score. Their offense can strike at any time, led by quarterback Cole McDonald, who at 6'4", 220 is capable of slinging it and hoofing it. He's earned the respect of coaches around the country, including his own, who says his height has been an advantage.
I know he's a good runner and he can go, but I think it's really been a positive in some of the RPO stuff we've done, and his vision from the pocket. I think I usually don't put a lot of emphasis on height, but I'm seeing some benefits with him.
But last year in Honolulu, McDonald was benched in the fourth quarter in favor of freshman Jayven Cordero, and he led Hawaii to 22 points in the final 11 minutes to stun UNLV at Aloha Stadium. Cordero got the start last night against San Jose State, and McDonald was benched. Cordero accounting for 5 Warrior touchdowns in their 42-40 win. It's a 1-2 punch that can drive opponents crazy. But the Warrior defense knows they just need to get a few stops and then watch the offense do their thing.
We just got to keep giving the offense the ball back because once they get hot, we know we just feed them the ball and it's just party city for them. And I think that also helps the defense because we know that their offense is going to try and make some big plays too.
Nick Rolovich is a perfect head coach for Hawaii. Not only in X's and O's, but he has that aloha spirit of having fun. At Mountain West Media Day, he always brings a surprise guest. Elvis one year, last year it was a Britney Spears impersonator. This year, Rolovich hired a fortune teller who set up shop right outside the coaches. He was the only coach who had his fortune read.
What did the fortune teller say to you? Did you do it
very positive things. Yeah, very positive things. My wishes will come true if I try hard enough.
UNLV's the one that's had good fortune at Sanborn Stadium. The Rebels have won the last 5 meetings in Las Vegas, dating back to the Mike Sanford era. Expect another shootout, with the winner getting perhaps the second heaviest trophy in college sports behind the Fremont Cannon, possession of the Golden Pineapple, with the ability to dole out some bragging rights.
All right, so the QB situation in Hawaii makes this very interesting. Jayven Cordero gets the start last night against San Jose State. Based on the fact that he was so good last night, you have to expect that he's going to get another start. But how do you attack this week knowing that it could be Cordero or McDonald or a combination of both?
Well, regardless of who's in there, they're going to throw the ball all over the place, and Cordero did a really good job. And I would assume since he got the start and got the big win, 42 points on the board, neither team punted last night, so I'd assume he'd get the start. But you got to be ready for Cole, too. But it's the same system. They're not going to change the system up. But they're both very capable guys, live arms, and they throw the ball a lot.
The one thing, I guess, the difference between the two quarterbacks is McDonald is a really big guy, where Cordero maybe more of a quick guy than just somebody who's going to lower their shoulder if they get out of the pocket.
There's no doubt about it. I mean, McDonald is a really big guy. Cordero, though, I mean, you see him, he'll take his shots. I mean, we saw it last year. I mean, some of the deep balls he threw last night. I mean, sometimes guys aren't even open, but he's going to throw the ball down the field and hope their guys make a play, and more often than not, they do.
It's almost always a shootout against Hawaii. Defensive stops are going to be at a premium. That really kind of is going to be the key. If you can pick up a couple of defensive stops on series, that could tilt things.
No doubt. You're going to have to create some turnovers in this game. You'd like to force them to punt. I mean, with what they do, there are times you'll see them throughout the course of the year where you can get some 3-and-outs right in a row, but at some point they're going to explode a little bit. So you got to make sure you create some turnovers. And I think we need to shorten the game, too. I think we need to do a really good job of running the football. They do give up rushing yards. They give up a lot of points. They score a lot of points. But that's kind of their deal, is just hurry up and get the ball back to the offense. So I think we got to shorten the game if possible.
When you look at the offensive side of the ball for UNLV, there's a little more pressure on them because you do have to put points on the board, especially in the red zone. They got to be touchdowns and not field goals in this game.
No doubt about it. I mean, one of the things that was really good last year was that second drive of the game. We took a ton of time off the clock, chewed up about 14 plays, and went down, and got on the board. That's big. If you can do that and put some drives together like that, they're an offense that wants to be on the field. They want to go NASCAR fast. And so if you let them sit on the sideline and kind of, relax a little bit, sometimes they can kind of lose some of that momentum. So, easier said than done, but that's going to be the goal.
It's always a fun game when Hawaii comes to Sam Boyd Stadium. There's over 100,000 native Hawaiians that live here in the Las Vegas area. A lot of them make the trip over to Vegas because they love just the whole Vegas atmosphere. So we know the crowd's going to be great. And now you have the Golden Pine. It's almost like a mini rivalry, I guess, a fun rivalry in the way between these two programs.
It really is. I mean, it is. Las Vegas, the ninth island, as it's referred to, and obviously with the trophy. And since the day that I got here, you could feel that rivalry and that intensity in that ball game, no matter whether you're on the island or whether you're here in Las Vegas. So, I mean, it's kind of neat now that they added the trophy to it, and I think it's appropriate, and it's exciting.
We're going to take our first break right here, but we're just getting started in the Reb Zone. Up next, we have a profile on the straw that stirs the defense's drink. We're talking about Jayven White, and the senior is determined to go out with a bang. His story in 2 minutes as the Reb Zone rolls on.
You're watching the Fox 5 RebZone Sports Show, sponsored by RC Willey and Levitt Law Firm.
If you want to see the definition of a football player, just look at Jayven White. The senior has played multiple positions at UNLV and played them all well, all from a foundation built by Mom.
It's impossible to go to a UNLV football game and not see Jayven White or hear him. The senior linebacker is everywhere, making huge plays on the field and talking up his teammates to get them fired up. White backs up everything he says and has become not only one of the top defenders on the team, but also in the conference.
I've always been a competitor. I've always been a talker. Like my mom always says that that's one thing I would never stop is talking. Like, we'll argue about like her driving slow, or maybe we're playing it like a spades. We're a big spades player, so we'll play spades against each other and we'll go at it. And I mean, it's intense. And the thing about it, when people sit back there, be like, "You guys are crazy," and that's how we are.
So who's the better talker, you or Mom?
Oh, me. My mom just, starts getting a little, remember, I'm your mom.
For the tough football player, White has a soft spot for Mom.
That's my rock right there. I've been raised by my mom my whole life. So, it's kind of one thing that she's always embodied of me, that, when you have a close relationship with your mother, nothing will beat that, and I always appreciate my mom.
White also appreciates interceptions, and there was none bigger than the one in the Cannon game last year that helped seal the win against UNR. That swagger is carried over to the offseason workouts and into this season. White has witnessed and been a big part of the culture change with UNLV football.
I feel like one of the best things that I've embodied and helped UNLV is about finding their swagger, just everybody, playing your play style football, Just because you go to UNLV, people may not show you as much respect, but you got to go prove your respect, and you earn it, and after a while, people will show you that respect.
With only a few games left, White wants his senior-laden defense to lay it all on the line.
How do you want to leave your playing career? Do you want to leave it like, oh, I could have done better, or do you want to just leave it all on the table, or like Coach Sanchez says, just put all your chips in and just let everything fly?
White has a special bond with Tony Sanchez.
It ain't 86.
Yeah, look at your phone. We won't hit 90 today during practice. Humidity's up, temperature down.
Oh, you sir?
I look at my phone every day when I come out here, man. Let's go.
He's always been my dog, and he's one of the biggest supporters I've had when I came here, and that's why I'm here. So I think one of the things I've learned from Coach Sanchez is probably the maturity and being able to be okay who you are. And Coach Sanchez is a very blunt guy, and he's very, he has a lot of confidence about himself. That's what makes him such a great coach.
Jayven White will miss his college days, especially the football, a sport that took him out of Oakland and brought him to Las Vegas.
Y'all live right now with Javin White, linebacker for the Rebels. The Rebels take on Hawaii.
A sport that gave him the opportunity to get his degree, which he will get with academic All-Mountain West honors. He wants to play at the next level, but when football is over, White's energy, enthusiasm, and ability to impact people will just be getting started. He wants to get back into the inner cities of America and help kids who need it most. Which brings us back to football, the driver of the passion, the driver of the heart, the driver to White's future. Wrap it all together and you have a leader with a soft spot for his mom, his coach, and his game.
The energy I bring is just the love I have for this game, how special and truly blessed I am to be here.
All right, special kid, special player. This guy's a football player through and through.
He is. I mean, he's had such a great career here, and he's been such an impactful guy. I mean, he does it in the classroom, does it on the practice field, does it on game day. I mean, when you talk about the kind of guys you want to emulate and you want to be leaders and to influence that younger generation of Rebels coming up, it's Jayven White. I mean, he's got a great story, great mom, worked really hard, and I believe he's going to get a great opportunity to play on Sundays.
When you look at somebody who came in as a safety and then went into the linebacker position with the Rebels, but then last week is where he maybe shows his value as a football player.
Yeah.
Because you had to drop him out to corner.
Yeah, again, a lot of guys you recruit as a safety, and as they get bigger, they end up evolving and being box guys, and that's his natural fit. But, we were having a tough matchup, against Colorado State with their big wide receiver, and Jayven went out and covered him and, and locked him down, and that just shows the ability that he has, and his stock went up. Last week he got invited to the NFLPA game, so we'll get to one of those college football all-star games, which is big, and I think he's going to be a real valuable asset for an NFL team.
And then off the field, you have to have the character guys that coaches can't be around players 24/7. Players have to police themselves. He seems like the kind of guy that's keeping everybody in check 24/7 all the way off season during season.
He is. Him, Gabe McCoy. I mean, it's a really good senior class. That's our first recruiting class, and these guys have just done a tremendous job. I believe guys that have already graduated, guys that will graduate in the fall, and then guys will graduate in the spring on this roster. I think there's 33 of them. That's unbelievable. So our guys are doing a really good job of competing hard, and they're all graduating.
We're looking forward to following his career at the next level. We're going to step away from football for just a moment and talk some hoops. The Runnin Rebels open their season this week with a pair of games. Up next, we're going to show you what happened and hear what the team is saying. It's all straight ahead.
You're watching the Fox 5 RebZone Sports Show, sponsored by R.C. Willey and Levitt Law Firm.
The Runnin Rebels tipped off their season this week with two games, the opener on Tuesday and a slugfest against Kansas State on Saturday.
The defending Big 12 champion Kansas State Wildcats came into the Thomas & Mack Saturday afternoon, and Amari Hardy made it very clear he was taking this game over. After KSU scored the first 4 points, Hardy scored the next 10, a long 3 to beat the shot clock, and a floater in the lane. UNLV actually went on a 14-0 run during that time after the early 4-0 deficit, capped by this Jonah Antonio triple. But Kansas State would claw back in it. Cartier Diarra with the baseline drive and slam. The Rebs answered as Hardy penetrates and dishes to Mbake Jong. He throws it down. This, though, was a defensive battle all game long, as both teams put the clamps on and struggled to get open looks and shots to fall. Hardy got fancy, heading to the rim and spins it in, then drains the trifecta after UNLV got 3 offensive rebounds. UNLV led 23-16 at the half. Hardy and Jong connected again early in the second, but Xavier Sneed hit back-to-back threes about 7 minutes in, K-State's first triples after starting 0 for 14 from downtown. It was back and forth the rest of the way. Hardy delivers from the corner for a tray. On the other end, the Rebs get sloppy and the Wildcats steal the inbounds pass and get a dunk from Antonio Gordon. Then DeJuan Gordon with the reverse lay-in to give Kansas State their first lead since 4-2. Under 4 minutes to go, tied at 41. Hardy bombs a straightaway triple. DeJuan Gordon answers right back to tie it back up. 48 all, final seconds of regulation. UNLV struggles to get a good look, and we were headed to overtime. In the extra 5, Nick Blair got a follow bucket off a Hardy miss, but Montavious Murphy drives and gets the bucket and the bump. That would give the Wildcats the lead. Hardy tied it again with this floater with 43 seconds left, and then things went cold for UNLV as Kansas State scored 6 straight points to seal it up. 25 turnovers for the Runnin Rebels, who fall in overtime 60-56.
We definitely let this one slip, but this is a great team right here. They've been to the Elite Eight. If I'm not mistaken, it was Big 12 champions, and we just getting our team together. We're not gonna let this game define us. Got Cal coming up, so we're gonna get in the gym, get back to it, stay our focus, not point figures, and get after it each and every day again.
They switched a lot of things on us to hurt our rhythm and balance, and fortunately for them, they were able to stand us up a little bit. I thought we had the same thing on the other side, what we were doing. So, again, I think we've certainly invested a lot more time on the defensive side of the floor. That's a choice I've made. And so if we go down because we weren't as good offensively, I'll take full accountability for that. But it'll be something we continue to work on and just make plays for each other.
On Tuesday night, TJ Otzelberger making his official debut as Runnin Rebels head coach as UNLV took on Indiana Purdue Fort Wayne. It started with a bang as Donnie Tillman fed Mbake Jong and he throws it down. Then Jonah Antonio got hot, knocking down back-to-back threes. The Mastodons stayed in it early. Jared Godfrey with the bucket and the foul to give them a lead 7.5 minutes in. But UNLV shut it down the rest of the half, going on a 27-2 run, led by senior transfer Elijah Matro-Long. The Rebs led 39-23 at the break. In the second half, UNLV kept the pressure on. Tillman with the slam. Then Bryce Hamilton, he gets the hoop and the harm. And then the pass ahead to Antonio to cap off the night. Still some kinks to work out, but an impressive opener as the Runnin Rebels take care of business, 86-71.
In college basketball, first game's a pretty, you got a little pre-game jitters and stuff, so I'm sure that stuff will clear out as the games come on and, we gain more chemistry.
It was a slow start. They got the lead, but we just keep believing in ourselves and just play hard. Just what Coach told us, just play hard.
The Runnin Rebels are on the road this week with a game at Cal on Tuesday and at UCLA on Friday. We'll be with the team for both games. We'll bring you coverage on the news side on Fox 5. One final timeout for us, then some closing thoughts from Coach Sanchez and the UNLV football plays of the week. But as we go to break, here's a look at how other Mountain West football teams did over the weekend.
You're watching the Fox 5 RebZone Sports Show, sponsored by RC Willey and Levitt Law Firm.
All right, Coach, 3 games to go. Time to finish this season strong. It all begins with Hawaii on Saturday afternoon.
Great opportunity. It's going to be, beautiful day. I think 108 kickoff. Hawaii's a good football team, but these are winnable games down the stretch. We've got a great group of seniors, and our kids have worked really hard. Obviously, hadn't been the season that we had planned on, but we can still finish it out strong, and starts this Saturday with Hawaii.
Are you looking for anything in particular, maybe out of some younger guys, to step up here and show what they can do looking forward and ahead.
Well, there's no doubt there's a lot of young guys playing right now. We've had a good handful of injuries, so there's a lot of young guys. You really want to see them really evolve. You know, obviously the changing with the offensive line, that's going to be a big deal. You know, some of the guys that were down on the defensive line, and then really in the secondary. I mean, you know, we're banged up there. There's 3 scholarship guys available at safety and corner, so the guys that are there, they got to really step up and play well.
All right, we're looking forward to it. 1:08 kickoff. Should be a beautiful afternoon out at Sam Boyd Stadium, so go and check that one out. Will be an offensive firepower showcase for that one. That is a wrap for us on the Red Zone this week. We thank you so very much for watching, and we leave you with the UNLV basketball players of the week. We'll see you next Sunday. Good night.
The RebZone Sports Show, sponsored by RC Willey and Levitt Law Firm.